In my 2023 recap video, I talked about wanting to focus a bit more on the pre-war part of my collection. Well, this is a step in that direction, featuring a player who had an approach at the plate that was pretty unique for his era. That's what's next. Stay tuned. What's up everybody, Alex here with a fresh pre-war pickup for 2024, my first pickup of the year, and one that gets me back in the pre-war column in my collection. It's this 1921 exhibits card of Zach Wheat. I want to send a quick shout out to Brian B. Roth 6, who alerted me to this card being available on eBay. Brian knew I was a fan of this image. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw it for the first time during a Card Room live session, and I've mentioned it a handful of times over the years. So here it is, finally making its way into my collection. So thanks again, Brian. Okay, let's get a closer look at this beauty. This is Hall of Famer Zachariah Davis Wheat, or Buckwheat as he was sometimes called. Primarily known for his time with the Dodgers, or the Superbas, or the Robins if you want. He played his final year with the Philadelphia Athletics. He had a career .317 batting average, and he remains the Dodgers' all-time franchise leader in hits, doubles, triples, and total bases. For me, it's all about the intensity of this swing, the full embodiment of the era in terms of the overall look, the uniform, the environment, and yeah, even the exhibit's font of Zach's name and Brooklyn listed in the corner. It all just goes together nicely. And the last thing I want to mention is that it's horizontal, and that makes it more cinematic in my opinion. I can imagine the rest of the movie in my head, and that's something I always appreciate about these early images from the game. In terms of his play on the field, his defense was described as stylish and graceful, but for obvious reasons today I want to spend a little bit of time on his work at the plate. Wheat is known for his aggressive approach to hitting, but it didn't start that way in the minors. According to a Sabre biography by Eric Enders, Wheat had to overcome some well-meaning but flawed advice early in his career. "I was young and inexperienced in the minors," he said. "The fellows that I played with encouraged me to bunt and beat the ball out. I was anxious to make good, and I did as I was told. But when I came to Brooklyn, I adopted an altogether different style of hitting. I stood flat-footed at the plate and I slugged. That was my natural style. Well, it worked. In 1910, Wheat would turn things around, leading the Dodgers with a .284 average while ranking among the league leaders in hits, doubles, and triples." Over the next several seasons, Wheat established himself as one of the most dreaded and murderous sluggers in the National League, ranking among league leaders in home runs every year from 1912 to 1916. He was ahead of his time, using techniques that wouldn't be widely accepted until decades later. He was sometimes criticized for his reluctance to bunt, but he argued that he was more valuable to the team by swinging away, and I think he was proven right. Zach also came to favor a lighter bat, which enabled him to generate more bat speed. He said, "When you snap the bat with your wrist, just as you meet the ball, you give the bat tremendous speed for a few inches of its course. The speed with which the bat meets the ball is the thing that counts." And that's something, of course, you're going to hear much more about from hitters like Ted Williams later on. Though he threw right-handed, Wheat was a natural left-handed hitter who corkscrewed his spikes into the dirt with a wiggle that became his trademark. Unlike most Deadball era hitters, he held his hands way down by the knob of the bat, refusing to choke up. He was an outstanding first-ball hitter, and he also was so renowned as a curveball hitter that John McGraw reportedly had a standing order prohibiting his pitchers from throwing him curveballs. Well, as always, the draw for me goes beyond the card itself to the bigger idea of how the card goes together with the rest of my collection. So we'll take a quick look at old Zach Wheat here alongside a few other pieces from my pre-war collection. But first, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Hope to hear from you in the comments. Until next time, take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon.